Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class, we were talking about the magnetic field due to the current in that of the solenoid, and we have understood that how in a current magnetic field is produced in that of the circular loop. Okay, so here we have seen that the circular loop is actually work like that of the circular loop actually is the basis to understand that of the solenoid. Okay, so it is believed that the circular loop, the magnetic field produced in that of the circular loop is similar to that of the current which is carrying in that of the straight conductor, and how the concentric circle is formed in that of the circular loop. Now we will going to understand the next one. Moving on, and we will see now that what happened when a force occurred on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, students. So you see, force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Now here we know that when the electric current flows through a conductor, it already produces magnetic field, and the field so produced exert a force on a magnet placed in the vicinity of the conductor. Let us see what happened here. That suppose we have taken a current carrying conductor, and you know that when a current carrying conductor is there, it itself produces magnetic field around it, and when we keep this current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, the magnetic field will also exert. You can see here it is written that the magnet this magnet must also exert an equal and opposite force on the current carrying conductor. Okay, so the force which is exerted by that of the current carrying conductor, here the magnet will also going to exert a force on that of the current carrying conductor, and this was explained by Ampere, who was the French scientist. So he said that if we will keep a magnet in the vicinity of a current carrying conductor, the magnet will also going to produce a exert a force to that of the current carrying conductor. Now for that he performed an activity, he demonstrated an activity. As you can see here in the picture itself, you will find, student, that is we have taken a small aluminium rod. This is a small aluminium rod which is about 5 centimeter, and there are two connecting wire. These two are connected with the wire, and because of this it is suspended horizontally easily from the stand. This is the stand, and these two are the wires which have connected this aluminium rod. Now we have suspended it in such a way that it is suspended horizontally. Now what we will do, this is a horseshoe magnet, students. Okay, so we will keep the rod in between the two poles of the magnetic field. Okay, this is the magnetic field. This magnetic field is generated due to the horseshoe magnet. So here you can see, place a horseshoe magnet in such a way that the rod lies between the poles with the magnetic field directed upward. Okay, so we have to keep the magnet in such a way that the rod will going to lie between the pole of the magnetic field, and for this what we have to do, we have to keep the north pole of a magnet vertically downward. You can see the north pole is vertically downward, while that of the south pole at vertically above to that of the aluminium rod. Now this aluminium rod, you can see here, this aluminium rod is connected to the this aluminium is rod, it is connected to the series with the battery. This is the battery, students, so it is connected with the battery. A key is there and rheostat is there. This rheostat will going to help in giving the variable resistance. Okay, so when the current will be produced, then the different resistance produced by the rheostat is also added along with this circuit. Now what happened? When we pass a current through the aluminium rod from B to end A, so How the current will flow, students? You know that the current always flow from positive to negative. So current starts flowing from here, as you can see in the arrow itself. Then the current reaches to B and then it will enter into reaches to A. What do you observe? It is observed that the rod displays towards left side, and you will notice the rod get displaced. So here what happened, as the current will start flowing from this and reaches to the other end, this rod will get displaced towards the left side. Okay, it will goes towards the left side, student, like this. Okay, it will displace towards the left side. Now what happened? Now again we will change the direction. We will reverse the current flowing through the rod, and then we will try to find out what will be the direction of the displacement. So when the current, if suppose we will change the battery, this will be the positive and this will be the negative. So the current will start flowing from here, and when current changes its direction, then the rod will also move towards the right side. The displacement will be at the right side. Okay. Okay. So why does the question here that why does the rod get displaced? I hope you have understood that when the current flows through it, the current carrying conductor which is present in between to that of the magnetic field, it will get displaced, and the displacement of the rod, it is because the force is exerted on the current carrying aluminum rod when it is placed in a magnetic field. So it suggests that the direction of force is also reversed when the direction of the current through the conductor is reversed. See here what happened, it is said that when why the displacement is occurring, student, it is because a force is exerted on a current carrying aluminum rod. The aluminum rod is there which is carrying the current. So a force is exerted on it, and this force is exerted when the aluminum rod is placed in a magnetic field. When it is placed in a magnetic field, then then the force can be exerted, the force can be felt here. Here one more thing is there, that if we will change the direction of the force, then also the direction of the current changes. Okay. So you can see here that when the force is changes, the direction of the current through the conductor is also reversed. Now what we will do, when we will change the direction of the field to vertically downward by interchanging the two poles. So it is once again observed that the direction of the force acting on the current carrying rod get reversed. This shows that the direction of force on the conductor, it depends upon the direction of current and the direction of magnetic field. Here it is explaining, students, that when we apply the force, when the current is there, then it will exert a force. Is applied on that of the aluminum rod, and due to which the change in the direction can be seen in the aluminum rod. Suppose if we will change the direction of the current, so when the direction of the current changes, then the movement of the aluminum rod also changes. The aluminum rod also get changed here. Okay, aluminum rod also get changed, students. And if the current which is flowing through it, the direction of the current, if it changes, then the movement of the aluminum rod also changes. Not only this, if suppose we will change the magnetic field also, the north to the south to the north, so changing the magnetic field, direction of the magnetic field will also going to shows the deflection in a different direction. Okay. So by this we came to conclusion that either we are changing the direction of the force, or we are changing the direction of the current or the magnetic field. They are depend on each other. So this shows that the direction of force on a conductor depend upon the direction of current and the direction of magnetic field. Okay. So force which is acting on the conductor, it depend upon the direction of current as well as the direction of magnetic field. See here students, here we had taken the aluminium rod and kept it in between to that of the magnetic field which was generated by the horseshoe magnet, and due to which we can find the deflection. As we are knowing that when the current flows through any wire, then it behaves like a magnet, and when you keep a compass, magnetic compass near it, it will shows the deflection. So obviously here also the current carrying conductor will responsible for the deflection. But since a magnetic field is produced already because of the bar magnet, due to which the direction can also be affected, again the direction will be affected. Now when we change the direction, or when we change the direction of the magnetic field, so the direction which is acting on the conductor will also get changed. Okay. So okay. So if there is any change in that of the magnetic field, if there is any change in the direction of the current, students, so obviously the direction of the force also of the conductor also changes. Now when we had done the experiment, we had found here one thing, that the displacement of the rod. Why the displacement of the rod is occurring, student? It is because of the force which is acting on that of the aluminium rod because of the magnetic field produced there. Now see here, the displacement of the rod, it is largest, it means its magnitude is highest when the direction of the current is at right angle. To whom? To the direction of the magnetic field. So if this is the magnetic field, so this will be the current. Only then the displacement will be maximum. Okay. So when the current direction is right angle to the direction of the magnetic field, in that case we will find that the magnitude, the value, the displacement of the rod will also be maximum. So suppose if here we consider that the direction of the current and that of the magnetic field are perpendicular to each other, and found that the force is perpendicular to both of them, then the three direction can be illustrated with the help of a Fleming left hand rule. So suppose students, here we have taken the magnetic field. Okay, we said that the magnitude of the electric current produced in a current carrying conductor will be maximum, the displacement will be maximum when the direction of the current and the direction of the magnetic field, both of them are perpendicular to each other. Okay. Now this three direction, it will be illustrated if suppose the magnetic field and that of the current is perpendicular to each other, and the motion, the displacement which is shown by the rod is also perpendicular to both of them, then this direction, it can be explained with the help of a simple rule which is called as a Fleming's left hand rule. What is the Fleming left hand rule, students? A very important rule, students. Remember that according to this rule, stretch the thumb, forefinger and middle finger of your left hand in such a way that they are mutually perpendicular to each other. So we have to stretch. You can see here in this picture itself that these three, this is the forefinger, this is the middle finger and this is the thumb. If all the three are what? They are perpendicular to each other, then the first finger, it will, this is the forefinger or field, consider it as a forefinger, this is what, this is forefinger. It is the forefinger. Okay, this is what? This is the thumb and this is the middle finger. So the forefinger or the first finger, it will shows the direction of the magnetic field, and the middle finger, it is showing the direction of the current. So the motion, if the field, magnetic field is shown by the forefinger and the current is shown by the middle finger, then the thumb will going to show the motion or the displacement of the object. Okay, this is what? This is the Fleming's left hand rule. Okay. So here it is written that if the first finger points to the direction of magnetic field and second finger in the direction of the current, then the thumb will point in the direction of motion or the force acting on the conductor. Okay. So if the force is acting on it, then the thumb will going to represent the displacement, it will represent the direction of the motion of a current carrying conductor, students. There are these days, there are a lot of devices are there, students, which we used on the basis of a current carrying conductor and magnetic field, and that will include the electric motor. Electric motor is there, electric generator, loudspeaker, microphone, lot of a measuring instrument is there. These all are what? These all are the devices that uses the current carrying conductor and the magnetic field. So, here we will going to use the left hand rule. See, this left hand rule, it was given by Flemings, and that is why it is also called as Fleming left hand rule. You can see here that how it is divided. See, this is what? This is the field which is the forefinger. Thumb is what? It is showing the motion, and C for center and C for current. So, try to understand in such a way that F for field and F for forefinger. So, forefinger will going to tell the magnetic field. C for current and C for center finger. So, this is the center finger which help us in telling the current. So, obviously only the thumb is left. So, thumb will represent the magnetic force, or it will represent the movement, the displacement of the object. Okay. Now, see here, a question is given that an electron, it enters a magnetic field at a right angle to it. So, if this is the magnetic field, so electron is entering like this only. Yes, it is already given. Okay. So, the electrons enter the magnetic field at right angle to it, and the direction of force acting on the electron will be. So, obviously students, see here the magnetic force is at this side and the current is acting on this side. So, obviously the force, it is also perpendicular to both of them, both of the two, that is the magnetic field as well as the current in which the electron is moving. So, here the direction of the force acting on the electron will be into the page, it will be remain inside that of the page, into that of the page. So, all the three will be what? These all are the perpendicular to each other. So, out of the four, that is to the left, to the right, out of the page and into the page, the answer will be into the page. Here it is written that the direction of force is perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field and current, and this will be given, this is given by Fleming's left hand rule. So, Fleming's left hand rule, it says that if we stretch all our three fingers, forefinger, middle and thumb, we will find out that if any two directions are given, we can get the direction of the third one. This is what, student, this is the Fleming's left hand rule. See, these days the magnetic field is also used in medicine. Like magnetic field is basically used to obtain the images of the different body parts. You can see here MRI. MRI is what? This is the magnetic resonance imaging. Here what happened, with the help of the magnetic field we can see the inside body form on the basis of obtaining image of a different part. And this technique is called as a magnetic resonance imaging, or the images which is formed with the help of this is called the MRI only. It is having a lot of uses in the medicine. It basically used to find out if any problem is there. So, that can be easily find out with the help of MRI. These days very common, student, MRI. Now, let us move on and see a very important topic, and that is electric motor. Electric motor. What is a motor, student? What is an electric motor? So, see, electric motor is what? It is a rotating device that converts the electrical energy to mechanical energy. Remember that. What is the motor is there in your house? So, basically when you turn on the light, this motor will start the water pump, if we talk about that, consisting of the motor itself. So, it will start taking out the water from the underground to the tank. So, here what it is doing, with the help of the electricity, the current is passing through it and the current reaches to the heighted place. So, here it has done a mechanical energy. Similarly, if we talk about any of the object like washing machine, refrigerator, mixer grinder, MP3, computer, electric fans. So, there also when you supply electricity to it, the fan place starts rotating, mixer grinder starts rotating, washing machine starts moving. So, basically here this is what it's a kind of, the motor is what, it's a device that converts the electrical energy to that of the mechanical energy. See, it is a rotating device that converts electrical energy to the mechanical energy. Now, you can see here an electric motor, and the picture is already given here, students. Many times the construction and the working ask of that of the electric motor. So, it is really important to understand it. Now, see here what is there in the electric motor. An electric motor, it is shown in the figure, it consisting of a rectangular coil ABCD. As you can see here, as you can see here, students, that it consisting of a rectangular coil, and this rectangular coil is A, B, C, D, and these coil, they are insulated with the copper wire. Okay, they are insulated with the copper wire, and this is placed in between the magnetic field, and the magnetic field will be produced by two poles of the magnet. One is north pole and the other one is the south pole. Okay. So, the coil is placed between the two poles of the magnetic field, and in such a way that the arm AB and CD are perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. Now, see here, the end of the coil, when you look at the rectangular coil, the end of the coil are connected to two halves P and Q of a split ring. See, this is what, this is the split ring. I will show you. This is what, this P and Q is what, is the split ring. Okay. So, the coil is connected to a ring, and it is what, it is a split one, that is why it is called as a split ring. It is a split ring. Now, this split ring, okay, now the inner side of these halves are insulated and attached to an axle. This is what, student, this is the rotator, this is the axle at which the split rings are attached with it. So, axle is there, and the inner side of the halves of or the split rings, when you look at it, it is what, it is insulated connected to that of the axle. Now, the external conducting edges of PQ touches two conducting stationary brushes X and Y. Now, see here, the external conducting edges, this is P and Q, the external one is attached to X and Y. Okay, these two are connected or touched with the two conducting stationary brushes, that is X and Y. Now, what happened? This is what, this is the whole structure. So, and then later on this XY is connected to a battery and a key is there. Okay, so two brushes are also there, students, which help in holding that of the split rings together. Now, what happened when the current in the coil ABCD enter from the source of battery? Now, this battery will going to produce the current from here. So, current will enter from the battery, from the source of battery to back battery through the conducting brush X and flow back to the battery through brush Y. Now, what happened when the current will flow from ABCD, from the coil ABCD? So, it will enter from the battery, this is the battery, students, and this battery will produces the current. So, through the brush, what is the brush here? That is X. So, from the X it will enter into the rectangular coil. Okay, it will enter into the rectangular coil, and now what you will find that here it will goes from AB and then it will reaches to CD. Now, see here, when the current from that of the AB reaches to CD, the AB, at AB we can apply the Fleming's left hand rule here. So, that time the direction of the current will be at downward direction, right. So, see here, we will find that the force acting on arm AB pushes it downward. Okay, so when the current is flowing in the right side and a magnetic field is produced, so you will find that this AB, the direction of force which is acting on it, is in the downward direction. Similarly, when the current comes to the CD, at that time the direction of the current force will be in the upward direction. Okay, so when the current moves from AB, moves downward, and CD, it moves upward. Now what happened afterward? Here the coil and the XLO, which is mounted over that of the brush, or we can say that because of that only the force acting on the CD, it will pushes it upward, and ultimately they will rotate into the anti-clockwise. But what happened at half rotation, this Q, it will make contact with the brush X and brush with P with brush Y. So this Q will going to make a contact with the, so when the current will flow when reaches to that of the X, here the Q will, it comes in contact with X, and P will comes in contact with the Y. And due to what happened, due to this, students, as you can see here, because of this only the current, it get interchanged. The current which was moving in the clockwise, it start moving in the anti-clockwise direction. You can see here it is written that at half rotation, Q will make the coil to get reversed. It contact with the brush X and P with brush Y, and therefore the current of the coil, it get reversed, and as the current of the coil get reversed, it will start moving to the second one, not from ABCD but DCBA in the reverse pattern. And this direction of the flow which get reversed through the circuit, it will be done with the help of a commutator. Okay, so it is this the split ring which act as a commutator, and this commutator will help in the reversal of the current as well